Hello YouTube, this is Steven Talbert. This is TalbyReacts. TalbyReacts, just for if you want to know, is where I talk about just things I like to talk about, whether it's movies, games, mostly games, a lot of some music. I talk about Christian rap, just things I'm really interested. Today I'm going to talk about Avengers. I got a story for you guys. So Thursday I got to see it for the first time. Went by myself. It was like, I want to go see Avengers because it's coming out. And what was kind of cool was I did not have a line to wait in, so it was like really chill. Just got in the theater, got my really good seat, and got to watch the movie. And then my friends were like, do you want to go again? And it's like, yeah, sure. And so I did. And it was like at 10 o'clock at night, and I was like, almost sleepy. Like, it was hard. We got out like at 1. It was like, ooh. But it was fun. Avengers was a fun movie. Really enjoyed it the first time. It does bring up the question, like, do you want to watch it again? Probably not. But it's really good at the moment. I was really impressed by that movie. It's really interesting to see what they're doing with that film, how they, like, when the first movie came, you're like, oh, they bring all these characters together. I think everybody was surprised. So there was so much hype for this movie. And now that they have them all together, it's kind of like, what's next? Where are they going? I thought they built a really good villain. I thought the villain was probably one of the best villains I've seen in a superhero movie, at least for Marvel universe. I mean, Marvel's had some hard times building really good villains. Maybe except for like the Spider-Man series where they've had alright ones. But in this cinema universe, we've had 1 or 2 that are really catching. But this villain is really decent. Like, it's really good, and it's exciting to see maybe what happened next with Thanos and all that in terms of villains. This movie is really cool. It has a lot of key moments. Like, there's like 3 key moments where they had all the superheroes together. And it's just, that's the type of movie that makes you want to come to that movie. It just, once you see those moments, you're just like, this is worth it. It changes your mind. This is worth seeing just how many times. Because it's just the coolest thing. It's like one thing you always wanted, and since I was a kid, I wanted like seeing all my superheroes together fighting alongside each other and be like, you know, Hulk smashing things and Captain America throwing his shield and doing all sorts of crazy things. It was just exciting to see those 3 particular moments in that movie. Oh, I will probably be talking spoilers, so sorry if you have not seen the movie. Because I think there's a lot of things to talk about. I want to talk about kind of the pros and cons of kind of this movie and kind of where I think it'll probably be going next. Because there's some cool things to talk about during this movie, and I'm excited to see where it goes. As I said, the pros, good villains. It works as a good one-off story. I think that one thing to really take into account is, granted, this is not a story that's going to go with the main plot, I guess, with the Thanos type thing. It's just a really nice one-off, and that's what I think about Avengers. Like, they have a bunch of good one-off stories where they just this thing comes to Earth and they battled it. And although I've heard Ultron has been a recurring villain in the comic books, I don't follow Avengers a lot, so I guess that's a possibility. We'll see Ultron again, maybe. So maybe instead of being a one-off, it will be multiple Ultron movies. We'll see. Probably depending how good this movie does. But I think as like a one-off film, it did really well. There's just good. The chemistry is good. They've nailed it really well. The superheroes have worked well with each other, and they just know what to do, what not to do. Like, the Bruce Banner scenes were really good. I like that they developed some really lesser characters. Like, I liked Hawkeye. Like, and Hawkeye, the first one, you're like, where is Hawkeye? I think he does a really good job of adding him into this Marvel universe. It's kind of almost, he's almost a rookie again. It's like this is really kind of the first really ultra chance we'll get to go really deep into. And so it's been good. I think it was a good movie. The kind of the negatives was they moved around a whole lot, like just the timing and stuff like that just wasn't great. I heard a lot of people kind of talk about this, and I kind of agree. It's kind of really is choppy. Like they go from this, it's like a ADD kid just moving all around. It's just, where do you go? And so it's not a really like developed like plot, but it's good. But I guess I talked to my brother, and he was like, yeah, that's what's supposed to happen in superhero movies, is they're supposed to move around and things are supposed to happen, not kind of like all at once. And so that, I think, is a real negative. It doesn't, like, I've been talking to some of my friends, like, is this the best movie? You know, is this a good movie? Like, I keep, getting hung up on, like, will this be the best Avengers movie ever? You know, is this going to be, like, and I see, like, the first movie of what kind of it did to the Marvel Universe. This movie really does not do a whole lot to the Marvel Universe. It creates a couple of characters. And that's one thing you got to applaud to Marvel, is how they create other characters. I don't think people have really noticed this a whole lot. Like how they really randomly made Scarlet Witch. Even like the last set of heroes that we get, like the new Avengers, I guess, with Man of War, Scarlet Witch, the Vision, how they made these sub characters out of nowhere. And it'll lead to another question I'll talk later with Spider-Man being a part of the Avengers eventually. And so it's there's some negatives, but overall definitely go watch it and go see it. And kind of just talking about this film even more is the question of Spider-Man, because you're hoping at the end you'll see a Spider-Man scene, and I really wanted to see it. And I think a lot of people were like, if there's no Spider-Man, this movie's not going to do good as the ending scene. And a lot of people judge that by that scene, like the ending scene sometimes. And we did not see Spider-Man. I do think the ending, the true ending with all the the Avengers Assemble type scene, kind of was like, yeah, this is how Spider-Man can be a part. I think at the end of Ant-Man, that movie, the last credits will be Captain America trying to get Ant-Man to be a part of the Avengers, and Spider-Man's going to be somehow be in that scene. And I think that's where I kind of see it being in terms of Spider-Man. And we'll probably most likely see Spider-Man, if not in Ant-Man, we'll see him definitely at the beginning of Captain America. I think this Captain America possibly could be a mini Avenger movie without Avengers on top of it. And so, because he is now in charge of the Avengers, you feel like he now has that, that leadership and stuff like that. It will be interesting to see the future of this. I'm excited for what's going to come with Thanos and the Infinity War, because that seems like a really big tale. And that's when I keep watching. When I keep thinking about this movie, is I can't wait for that third and fourth film to show, because it's going to be really, really good. And that's the one I want to see, in terms of superheroes, in terms of things. But now we're going to be waiting until 2020, which is good, but I wish it was so much sooner. I kind of wish this movie was skipped somehow. But it builds a lot of key framework with the Vision, because I think he is a big superhero. He definitely stole the show in Avengers. And I heard a lot of people talking about how he's so memorizing, which I agree completely. And I think he's definitely, because of the Infinity Blade, the Infinity Stone that's in his head, that he will definitely be one of the main things of the Infinity War and all that. And so we'll see where it goes. I'm excited. I think their other question is, do we have hero fatigue? Because that's kind of the thing that people are struggling is, are we getting really old of our superheroes? And this possibly die out. I hope you enjoyed this video of TalbyReacts. Like my video if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel if you want to subscribe. Thank you to all my subscribers. It's been really cool. I'm just making more content. I definitely want to make more content in the future. I hope you like this, just like it, and thank you. All right, bye.